Right, guys, I think we are live. It is 7 o'clock. So hi, everyone. My name is Nick Crampton, and these guys here with me tonight will know me as Ninja Nick, but we'll talk about that later. I am the founder of a support group called Reactive Dogs UK. And the owners in that group all have one thing in common, and that is that we all have a reactive dog of some description, right, guys? Yep. So tonight, what I wanted for like the whole world to understand is what it's really like to live with a reactive dog 24/7. If you're a dog walker, you deal with the dog for an hour. If you're a trainer, you might have an hour and a half session. But for owners, when it is life full on the whole time, it is a very different kind of challenge. And that's really what we're here to share today, is what our challenges are and how we deal with them as individuals, as the group, and what kind of support we provide for each other, and also from RDUK to members, but member to member is amazing as well. So just a tiny bit about reactivity. So what we're talking about here is when a dog displays a behavior that is a heightened level of behavior, for example, a fearful behavior of running away, or even just licking their lips and being nervous in a situation that a happy-go-lucky dog, let's say, or wouldn't find stressful at all. You have the lungy, snarly, barky, bitey reactivity that most people think of when they talk about reactivity, but the freezing, the staring, the avoidance, the running away, that is also reactivity. And so it represents an equally big challenge for those owners who have dogs that behave in that way. So, you know, I'm going to open it up really with these members. So I just firstly want to thank everyone in the group for stopping by and listening to us as we have a chat amongst ourselves tonight. And I have to say an enormous thank you to the brave souls on this Zoom call, meeting, conference, whatever you want to call it, because our group is an incredibly safe space and we protect our privacy. You know, really, we take such measures to do that. So I just want to thank every one of you on this call here tonight for being brave enough to come here and share your stories. So thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So for me, my dog, Jen, when I got her, she was a happy-go-lucky dog. She had a lot of issues, separation issues and stealing food off the counter kind of issues. But her reactivity came about because she was attacked by some off-lead dogs. And she went from being the most gentle, beautiful soul that would play beautifully with any dog, come back every time she was called, would share her toys with any dog. And she went from that to being a lunging, snarling beast on the end of the lead at a dog that was 180 meters away. And I don't know about you guys, but for me, that's when my world changed overnight. And I went from wanting to go out for a walk with my dog to not wanting to go out at all because of all the different challenges that we face when we go outside the front door. So for you guys, like who here, whose dog has been reactive since they were a little puppy, or maybe you got a dog thinking it was all okay, and then it turned out that actually that dog really had a lot of issues and you weren't expecting it. Chloe.
Did all the buttons. Yeah, we adopted Kaiser, who was supposed to be good with other dogs. Yeah, that's what they put on the website, and that's how we adopted him. And then, like Jen, we went out and he was snarling and lunging and barking at dogs the other side of the road. So yeah, kind of similar.
And that was immediately once, you know, as soon as you got him home.
Yeah.
And what was that like though for you?
It was kind of weird. We weren't expecting it, and we thought, oh, maybe it's just him settling into his new home.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it'll pass. Maybe a bit of training and he'll be able to greet other dogs again. But obviously that didn't happen.
Yeah.
But he's improved, but
improving.
It wasn't
it's a bit of a surprise, right? Not the box you expected.
Yeah.
Yeah. Emma, was that similar for you as well?
Yeah, we adopted Buster last year, and we were told by the rescue that he had come from a loving home, and he was just in an unfortunate situation, but he had no problems at all. We took him out from the rescue centre, and he seemed to be fine. And then obviously we got him home and started to notice probably within about a week that he started showing what I thought was frustrated greeter to start off with. And then as he settled in his new home, it quickly became apparent that he was very dog and people reactive.
Wow.
Which was the thing that we said we couldn't handle, because we live in an area where it's just so highly populated with dog walkers. So yeah, it was a real shock and learning curve for us. And I think it's, we've been 9 months now. And the first sort of 6 months, I was just in complete and total disarray, to be honest. And it's only been the sort of latter 3 months that we've really started to sort of get a hold on it and be able to deal with it and actually enjoy my life with my dog.
Yeah. So Emma, what made the difference? How did you get from that, complete breakdown to starting to cope?
Well, I'd been to I'd asked for behavioural help from behaviourists, and we had help from 2 behaviourists, and they were really useful. They gave us plans to put in place, but effectively, we paid money, and then they gave a report and said it won't be a straight road, it will be difficult, it won't move us in a straight line, and just get on with it. And then we had a very short follow-up, and I really, really struggle with it, because I didn't know anybody. Most of my friends don't have dogs. My neighbours do, but they've got non-reactive dogs. So I just had nobody to talk to. And for me, finding RDUK just made the most amazing difference, because other people understand. They understand when you have a bad day, and most importantly, they understand when you have a good day as well, because the good days are tiny, they can be tiny incremental things that other people just think you're completely mad if you tried to tell them. I walked past a dog today and it was 100 meters away and my dog didn't go mental at it. I walked past a binman and my dog didn't try and lunge and bark and have a breakdown. He looked at me instead. And I think just having a group that are there, the advice is also, just absolutely amazing. The resources, the things that I can learn from the resources have been amazing. But for me, the support of other people who know exactly what it feels like when your dog barks its head off at an old lady that stops to say hello, or, whatever else, but then knows the good side of it, is just so important for me. And it's made the world of difference in how I feel and how I can actually move forward with my dog. Yeah. Even if he's never going to be able to walk out on the path outside my house at peak hours, which he's not going to be able to.
No, I get it. Just give us a wave. Anybody else thought when they joined that they were the only person in the world who had a dog like this? Yeah. Yeah, everyone. And I think that was one of the things that struck me is, from getting feedback from the group, and certainly from you guys here, is almost every single person that joins the group, the sentence, "I thought I was the only one," comes out of their mouth, right? And it, in some ways, it is surprising because there's so many of us. We've seen 32,000 people like this in the last 5 years. But on the other hand, it's not so surprising because you're all in bushes. Emma, you mentioned something there about being people reactive as well as dog reactive. And I think that is, I don't want to compare difficulties, but I do think dealing with people reactivity does have an added element, because if you have a dog that is reacting to other dogs, there is always going to be a person with them. Maybe not actually right with them, because that would be kind of handy, to be honest. But, you know, there's always going to be a person there as well. So you've got the double whammy every single time. Claire, what would you like to share?
I think just going on from what Emma just said about the support, I think it's the main thing for me was the isolation. Mm-hmm. When Benji started becoming reactive about 18 months old, it was so out of the blue, and I had no support, nowhere to go to, didn't know sort of what the next step was. And you feel so isolated because everybody else that I knew had either got normal dogs or just neighbours, people walking around the street, their dogs were fine. Totally opposite to how Benji was. He was people reactive, dog reactive. The looks that you receive from other people, the comments under the breath, and it just makes you feel so isolated. To the point where we had a particularly bad day where Benji just reacted to everything and everyone, and I just sat on the pavement and I just cried, because you just don't know what to do, and there's no one saying, right, I've got your back, I'm in the same situation, let's look at this and move forward. And it wasn't only until I found RDUK that I found the support, and that just meant the world to me. It meant the world to me to carry on, because when you feel that you're the only one, you just feel it's the end of the line, really.
Yeah, and I Claire, just to you mentioned about just crying on a walk, and even as a trainer, I have gone home in tears on a walk.
Yeah.
I've even come home from what was supposed to be a safe field, the ones where they're all fully secure. It had dogs next. It was like both dogs were playing on both things, but the other dog, the other side, had an issue. And I came home from that in tears. And it's most people listening in would think, hang on, you're a trainer, what are you doing crying about it? But it is, when you've got, even if you know what to do, it's doing it with your own dog, which is why for me, I just want you guys to know, I think you are awesome, all of you, simply for carrying on with your dog and not giving up, because it takes something. It really does.
I think it's the emotional impact, isn't it? And it's not just the emotional impact on you as a person, that ripples through the family, ripples through friends, it puts a strain on relationships. So it's not just impacted on you as perhaps the main carer for the dog, but it's the impact on a wider scale of the whole relationships through family and friends, because they perhaps don't understand it or want to understand it or can't understand it.
Yeah, for sure. Di, thank you, Claire.
So my 10-month-old, I've had her since she was a pup. She's people reactive. She's reactive to traffic. We live on a busy road. And I've just found it's just isolating. I've never had a dog reactive before. It's been quite difficult, I think, to deal with. Sometimes I think it's my fault, because I've had her since she was a pup. Sorry, I'm getting a bit upset.
It's all right.
But the group, honestly, it's a lifeline. So many resources, so much support, and you don't feel like you're on your own.
Yeah. And Di, have you had a chance to connect with someone local yet?
Yeah, so I have met up with a local lady, and the two dogs play lovely together.
Oh, wow.
And like Roxy, she's not people reactive if somebody has a dog, so that does make it easier. But yeah, in general, it's just the whole unpredictability. And I think for me, people is so much harder because of the reactions you get, and there's less understanding if people have got a happy-go-lucky dog and they can understand.
Yeah, guys, I'm just gonna pause there. If you've had someone say a comment to you about your dog, like just put your hand up. Cool. Let's go around. Everyone, come off mute. Let's just hear what people say to you. Just like one sentence each. Go for it.
Control your dog.
Control your dog.
Yep.
Shirley.
You need to have that dog put down. It's aggressive.
Karen.
Swearing words.
Why is your dog reacting like that?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
obviously not friendly.
A lot of swear words, particularly given my lad's breed as well, because he's a Rottweiler. We get an awful lot of stares, looks, and swear words mainly.
Yeah, we get the same because we have shepherds.
Shepherds, yeah, of course. Basha?
Yeah, some swear words, like kind of quietly, but making sure that I can hear it.
Yeah, the snidey ones, the ones they think they're being stealthy with their comments. Anyone else had groups of kids going woo, 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 like trying to wind your dogs up?
Yeah.
My lad is he's reactive to rattly vehicles and in particular kids' scooters for some reason. And I'd asked a child, he must have been about 8, 9-ish, in the park to keep away from the dog because he was scared. And he then proceeded to follow us and get closer and closer and closer. There was no parent in sight, so then my response as a fairly large brashy scouser was, the dog will be the least of your worries if you come any closer. I'll flatten you. But that's the way I handle it, I think that's something that I've got to learn to be better with. But that's just me, and would be tired anyone who upsets my boy. But
I had a similar experience actually as that with Izzy, with somebody that was on a bike which she hates, and I was in like a little area enclosed, and they came through the gate, and I said, "Stop! She'll attack you. Stop!" And then they said no, and I said, "If she bites you, then I've asked you to stop," and I just ran, and luckily she was like, "What are you talking about?" and didn't react. But I was like, I probably shouldn't have said she might bite you, but I was so scared because I'd asked them to stop, and they just didn't care. They didn't care.
And I think that's it, guys. We are human, and we will respond in a very human way. People are very good at being people-y, who can tell me what we advise people in the group to do if you've got something approaching that you do not want to approach you? What is
Policeman
the one?
Stop.
Policeman stop. Policeman stop.
Policeman stop.
Stop in the name of love. And it's so who has used the policeman stop? Like, let's find. And did it kind of work? Did it work? Did it work brilliantly?
It has worked in some situations, but not in others.
Not in others. Yep. So when and this is the interesting thing. I've never had it not work, but that's because I think, honestly, I say that one word and I keep repeating that word until I am blue in the face. I don't go into the explanation, because as soon as you start going into the explanation, I may as well be Woodstock and they're Snoopy and I'm just going, they're all those little people don't hear it. But if you keep saying stop, 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 and you mean it, it will work on people, it will work on riders on horses, it will work on, well, obviously not cars because they can't hear you. That would be amazing though, wouldn't it?
But again, when you've got a teenager coming towards you on a scooter, and you're doing that, and you're doing it, and they still continue to come towards you until you end up in the bushes, because they're just doing it out of sheer devilment. In that situation, no matter how many times you do the policeman stop,
Completely agree.
It's not going to work. Also, we had a situation where another owner had 5 dogs that was circling bench, and I did the same thing again, and he got so aggressive that I felt unsafe. So again, it was me retreating because I had to get ourselves out of that situation. Yeah. And again, he just would not listen to anything I was saying. Well, just the stop.
Yeah.
He found it more amusing than anything else.
Yeah, and I've honestly, for me as a human, when people laugh when I'm trying to take control of the situation, that really winds me up. That's like, seriously, I'm trying to do this for my sake, my dog's sake, for your sake, you know, and the laughter is one of the things that really bothers me, almost as much as people swearing and the other comments, you know.
I think it bothers me even more, I think, like you say, the laughter side of things, because that's taking it to a whole new level, isn't it? A whole new level of understanding.
For sure. And I think it's because I think it's they don't understand the impact that having that upsetting event will have on your dog and on you as the person who walks the dog.
I avoid a time of day in an area I used to love to walk, because I've met a lady twice now whose dog circles Tom, and she wonders why I ask her to put her dog on lead. Please put your dog on lead. End up shouting at her to put her dog on lead. She still doesn't, and Tom is dropping spoons by the bucket load.
Yeah.
And now I avoid that area at that time now and come home a different way, just so I do not have to meet this lady.
Yeah. Who else here has changed where they walk because their dog's reactive? Change the location of where they walk, yeah?
Yes.
Who's changed the time of day that they walk?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. Good point, Karen. Shirley, my love, what would you like to say? What kind of challenges have you found?
Well, I had Cody as a rescue, and he'd been handed in by travellers, and he was such a broken dog, so turned in on himself. I didn't touch him for 3 weeks, just left him to his own devices. And he just reacts to everything: dogs, people, bikes, cars, trailers, and you just walk past, cross over the street, and it's like everybody else said, sometimes the abuse you get, it's heartbreaking. And again, like somebody else just said, when people won't put their dogs on leads, my biggest fear is then he's muzzled, he's always muzzled, but if he does sort of lunge at them, and then they come at you saying, well, I did actually have somebody say they were going to report me to the police because their dog was running rings around me. I'd got my 2 dogs on a lead until I'd got so tangled up in the leads I fell over, and then this was before I found walking belts, and the dogs just pulled their leads out of my hand and chased his dog, and he just gave me so much abuse and wouldn't accept the fact that actually it was his dog that was out of control and I'd got mine under control, albeit they were barking and lunging. But they wouldn't have been if his dog hadn't been doing circles around us. And it terrifies me, that people are going to call the police and you end up in court. Like, unfortunately, just recently, there's been 2 or 3 members that are having to go through that, isn't there?
Yeah.
They're having a horrendous time.
And I think, and that's the heartbreaking thing, because the way that dog law is written is, we're actually in a no-win situation. It is an indefensible situation, and it, you mentioned the cases we've got going on at the moment, so we won't actually mention them by name, obviously.
No.
But they're 2 very different cases, but neither case appears to be a winnable case because of the way the law is written, and I think that's a very sad situation. And definitely from me, as in terms of group founder stuff, that's something I would love us to look at as a group, and something that we can work together to address, and not only for our own sake, but for, you know, all dog owners' sakes. Because the thing with reactivity is, just because your dog is a happy-go-lucky dog today doesn't mean that's the same situation next week. Because I don't know who here whose dogs became reactive after being attacked. Hang on, let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4 of us. I'm sorry, I can't see the hands down there, but there might be. Yeah. And that's, you know, that's a big issue, because then it becomes an ongoing cycle, you know? Yeah.
I think, sorry, am I okay to talk?
I was just gonna take a pause, because I don't want to go too much into the dog law thing, because that's a whole other conversation. Yeah. But I think the important thing that I want people to understand is, you know, the steps that we take as owners of reactive dogs. We're doing that to maintain our own dog's well-being, but also to prevent there being any issues. Yeah. But let's have another look. Let's go. Brian, have you shared yet, darling? I can't remember.
No, I shared briefly about the when I did the policeman stop, but
Yeah.
I just wanted to basically share my love of the group, because my dog hasn't always been reactive. She was a rescue. We rescued her when she was a year. She was brilliant, settled in fine. We went away for a summer holiday. She went with the dog boarder, and while she was there, she attacked another dog, not one that she had, but when they were out on a walk. And I because I wasn't there, I obviously had no idea like what had stemmed from it. But I think now I look back, and she had a lot of children and her own dog. Now I have children, but our house is quite big, so she can always kind of take herself away. So I think it was just a bit overwhelming for her. But the thing I found mainly for this group is that I now muzzle my dog Izzy, and how my mindset has been changed to basically, when I'm walking her with a muzzle, I'm thinking, no, I don't care what you think. Like, I'm doing this because this is what she needs, and I don't care. And the relief that it gives me to know that I can say to people, oh, isn't it great that my dog can wear a muzzle? And people are going, really? That's awful. And actually people are going, isn't that great? Well done. You've managed to have a safe walk with her, not wanting to fight the muzzle off all the time, and knowing that muzzle means walk, which means she can get out, and how lovely that is. So I just wanted to share that, really.
Yeah, that's great, Bryony. And I think we had our pop dog this week. So for other people won't know, so our pop dog, so once a week we celebrate someone's accomplishments, although we do a lot of celebrating though, don't we? We celebrate a lot of little wins every week, all the time, because I think that's something very important in terms of when you are dealing with something that is such a challenge, is to learn to celebrate the baby steps. There's something else that people, I want to actually come to Basha just for a second actually, because we've spoken about being reactive to dogs and to people, but Basha, I know that yours was, and the firework periods really, really challenging for you with Susie and Shaka.
Yeah, and Susie. Yeah, for Susie, Shaka.
Susie's the one for fireworks, isn't it?
So when you started and you asked whose dog was reactive from the puppy, well, Susie was born in July, and the first firework was when she started being reactive to fireworks. And yes, I did blame myself, because we went to our friends and his birthday was around fireworks, and she was August, June, July, August, September, October. She was only 4 months old, So we've taken her with us, and we didn't know that he planned, because it was his birthday and fireworks around the same time, he planned a big massive firework display in his back garden. So I don't know if she would still be sound reactive without this event or not. I don't know. But yeah, she is terrified of fireworks, of bangs, some other noises. Muntjac barking is a biggie for her as well. And till I joined Reactive Dogs UK, I didn't realize that this is a reactivity. I thought she's scared and she's trying to hide away. And yes, she did do some damage to my house, and it's horrible to watch because she goes to such a panic and she's panting, she's trying to hide, she's trying to dig a hole in a bed, in a floor. She was really not happy. And yes, I have been putting things in place, you know, trying to soundproof my house, but till I joined Reactive Dogs UK, and I think that was one of the first, I think it was probably the first fireworks season after I've joined, and Nick had a talk about sounds, and
live, didn't we?
Yeah, that was a live. And I did learn quite a lot of things. Like, for example, I've never known that then dogs will not drink water. So then she will become dehydrated. That will affect her behavior as well. And she wouldn't drink water. So puppy milk works. For a fireworks season, she gets a puppy milk because that is the only thing she will drink. And she's now 11 and a half. And I'm pleased to say that last fireworks, November, we had no reaction. So that was, I was in heaven. We did have all the precautions in place. We did have music or everything in place. She had her thunder shirt. I was off work, so I always now plan holidays around the fireworks. But it was just amazing, you know, having her next to me. And I did see that she heard it, and she like put her head up, she perked her ears. And I just said to her, it's okay. She had my scarf around her ears and everything. And she lay down. And I thought, like, my God, it's amazing. And yeah, I don't know if she will be like that for next fireworks season. I don't know. But I know now how I can manage it and how I can plan around it. And she's a lot happier. Well, when she was little, when she was 2 or 3 years old, she literally wouldn't go out for a walk for a week or 2 after fireworks. The most she would go to the end of my driveway and she would be straight back home. So yeah, I was in heaven. The November last year was amazing. Because yeah, she did really well, and she did make to be a pop dog actually because of that one year.
I remember now. Yeah, really great. Oh, thank you, Basha. It's music to my ears. Really, really wonderful. So, what other kind of things? What other things do you feel impacted by having a reactive dog? What other little things have you learned from the group? Maybe, what should we do?
As I've been talking and I'm still unmuted, shall I just roll on? Is that all right?
You can say something else, Basha. I'm just hang a second, darling. I'm just trying to see. I've got a little button flashing up and I can't see. Liz and Dana and Di. Actually, I'll tell you something that's quite interesting. Sorry, Basha, we'll probably circle back around again. So one of the things when we did some research a couple of years back in the group was asking, how many members of the group would use a dog trainer? And I was really shocked that it was 70% or thereabouts would not use a trainer at that time. And the biggest 2 reasons was, one, they didn't know what to look for, where to find them, who to trust. And the other one, which was really saddening for me, is that they'd had a bad experience with a trainer. So, you guys know that it's something I'm very passionate about in the group, is making it really clear as to whose training advice you can trust. Who can tell me what colour those badges are in the group? Shout it out. What colour's the trainer badge in the group when they give the advice?
Pink.
Green.
Pink. It's easy to find now, right? Really easy. So, you know, I think one of the things I really wanted to ensure was, you know, whilst the group is obviously doing a good job in terms of emotional support, and there are times when you do need that one-to-one trainer there to support you. And obviously we do the one-to-one advice in the group from the authorized trainers, those people who are accredited, and we've got just 5 of them doing that kind of support. But then every now and then it's like, actually, no, we need boots on the ground, feet on the street, as we say. So has anybody been in that situation where they've had a trainer before that didn't work, and then they've kind of used the group?
Yes, I did.
Yeah, who's that? Where's
Tamsin.
That's Tamsin. Tamsin?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So initially we got them for Bear,
Yeah.
because he became reactive at 18 months old, just all of a sudden out of the blue. Funny enough, it was the day he actually cocked his leg for the first time, and something changed in him. We got a police dog trainer. Obviously at the time we thought, oh, fantastic, you know, this is going to be really helpful for us. But looking back now, what he chose to give us as advice wasn't a good thing. It was the squirting water in his face, you know, walking him on a head harness instead of, you know, like a normal harness. And looking back now, the way he was with Bear, trying to put him on his head harness, Molly was fine, just put it straight on. Bear jumped around, tried to wriggle out of it. There was no, you know, desensitizing him. It was literally on, and that was it. And it was staying on, and it's not coming off.
And Tamsin, what was your feeling when this person was doing that with Bear?
At the time, I thought, oh, you know, it looks, you know, not so much when he was sort of forcing the head harness on him, but it was kind of like, oh, actually, you know, this is obviously how it should be done, you know. But now, looking back and having found a trainer through RDUK, I know now that it was definitely not the right way to go. I know I should have just done my research a little bit more into trainers, you know, finding the good ones who've got like the right qualifications for, you know, what I now see is a reactive dog.
Yeah.
And that, you know, being brutal is not the best way with our dogs.
Yeah. Because they're already scared, right?
Yeah.
But Tamsin, you said something there, is just want to pick up on, is like, you know, you said you should have done a bit more research, but honestly, darling, I don't beat yourself up, because it is not a very clearly regulated industry. In fact, it is unregulated, to be fair. And even as a trainer, there are so many qualifications out there. It's like alphabetic soup, you know, all those letters after people's names. And you know, it's confusing to us as trainers to work out which are qualifications and which sound like qualifications but aren't. So don't beat yourself up about that at all. That goes for everybody listening who could be in that situation. There's somebody else as well who's is it Di with Roxy? Yes, Di.
Yeah, so similar to Tamsin, and we had a really bad experience with a trainer when she was quite a young pup who, wanted us to squirt her with water, throw bean bags at her that were filled with metal, and just the whole approach that they had was horrendous.
And did you notice any behavior, like Roxy's behavior? Was it getting, how did Roxy then?
Her behavior got worse. But to be honest, when the trainer came out to us, I was like, after she left, I was like, we're not doing it. We've got a fearful dog. And the words that she first said to us, your dog's fearful. So then why do we need to be using water and trying to, I don't know, almost like be dominant over a dog who's displaying fear? That's surely not the right way to go about it. And yeah, we found a lovely trainer through RDUK now. Yeah. And we're working with them like on a plan.
You've got a plan. Yeah, I know who you're working with as well. She's awesome.
Yeah, it's so lovely, so lovely. And any question, I mean, I ask her about 20 questions a day.
Oh, bless her. Yeah, I will mention her by name, that Charlie says Charlie's one of our, it's Charlie, isn't it?
It is Charlie, yeah.
So Charlie is one of our authorised trainers that does comments in our group, but obviously she has her own company as well. And Charlie's going to be doing some talks later on this week as well about reactivity. But I'm really glad you're working with Charlie. Really glad.
She's lovely, yeah. And you know, today was a good day. Our little plan has worked, but you know, we've got to take it a day at a time.
Yeah, yeah. And actually, that is something I'm seeing more and more of. Is people who are working with trainers are actually then joining the group for the moral support and to share their little stories between their training sessions. So they've got this kind of massive emotional support, because regardless of what you're doing, it's still the emotional toll on a day-to-day basis. Yeah. Who else would like to share? Diana.
Hi.
Hello, my love.
Hi. We took Rogue and Riley to a trainer. The dogs were approaching a year old. They're coming up for 3 now. And between 9 months and a year old, it was like someone flipped a switch and they both became not the friendly, I was going to say little dogs, but it's shepherds, but not the friendly little guys that we were used to. Riley's more everything reactive. Rogue is dog reactive. So I researched what I thought was a good trainer. We took both dogs, but the guy there, I now know, doesn't really have any behavioural qualifications. It's just through practice what he does, and it's adverse training methods.
Yeah.
When we got there, he put the full metal choke chains on both dogs.
Yeah.
And every time they reacted, we were to yank it. He also threw bottles with stones at the dogs when they reacted. And one of the walks that they were doing, there was one of the girls with another dog, and as Riley passed her, he lunged and barked, and she hit him.
Mm.
And at that point, we said, no, this isn't for us. And I feel just what Di had said before, that I feel that the boys got worse after that.
Yeah.
Because the boys get walked in industrial estates or quiet areas so that they don't get stressed when they see triggers.
Yeah.
And I will go out of my way to double back or hide behind cars, hide behind anything really, so that they don't trigger.
Yeah.
Because with it being shepherds, it's the looks and the comments, and it's basically they're out of control and they're dangerous. And there's no way in this earth they get walked on 2 leads.
Mm.
Rogue gets attached to a lead that goes round my waist, and it goes on to his collar or his harness.
Yeah.
And I have another lead that goes on the other. So if one fails, I still have a backup.
Mm.
And there's no way that we would let these dogs go. My dad has broken his arm and broken his jaw by trying to hold on to the dog.
Mm.
I've been pulled flat in my back by Rogue because he was trying to get to another dog, and I tried to stop him, but I still managed to hold on to the lead.
Yeah.
There's no way on this earth that I would let them go And as much as people say let them go, I couldn't cope with having the police at the door and taking my dog away.
Yeah.
And I don't know if anybody on this call seen the video that I posted last weekend of the wee white dog approaching us in the park.
No, I missed that one, sorry.
Sue actually answered me and gave me pointers on how to work around it and different things.
So just for people who know, so Sue Cooley is one of our authorised trainers.
Yeah, sorry, Sue from RDUK.
That's all right, my love. Yeah, that's all right.
And I've been kind of messaging Sue back and forward, and hopefully once she clears her diary, she's going to touch base with me, and hopefully we'll start working together to work the two boys, and hopefully they won't be as reactive as what they were.
Yeah.
But I actually bought a body camera recently, not so much for watching what the dogs are doing when I was out. It was more for these dog thefts that are happening right now.
Yeah.
But what I did find was that Sunday that I was out early morning with Rogue, and we came across a woman with a dog, and she just totally ignored what I'd asked her. The video is a good thing, because the way I look at it was, when she walked away, Rogue hadn't connected with her dog, which meant if her dog went down the street and got attacked by another dog, I had a video to prove it was not mine.
I think it's really sad that, you know, these are the measures that we feel we need to go to sometimes. And, you know, I've gone down on a walk, although it was, to be honest, it was a ninja buddy walk. So I was meeting up with, this is pre-COVID, right? But we were meeting up because there were rules of, we'd heard about a dog being very out of control, just running around bothering other dogs. So I said, look, I'll just come for a walk with you. So we was two people and one dog, and I went out with the body cam on, just ready to video any kind of interactions. But sorry, Dad, I don't want to cut you short there, but it's also a great learning tool, isn't it, when we video our dogs?
Yeah, because I can see where I went wrong.
Great. And also it's great because we can see in very, very slow motion, we can see our actual dog's body language.
Yeah.
And we can see those really small indications of, I'm starting to get stressed. Now I'm really getting stressed. Now I'm getting close to my breaking point, you know, so we could start to really learn how to read our dogs. Diane, thank you for sharing that, my love. Thank you. And I think one thing that I'm really delighted with is when we did this research, you know, we had this 70% that wouldn't want to work with trainers, is we asked them, after being in the group for about 3 months, more than 86% of people would work with a trainer that was recommended by us, RDUK. And that for me has to scream, it is absolute testimony to the trainers that do the comments in the group, because they demonstrate such compassion and understanding of the owner as a human being, as well as what you're dealing with your dog at the time. So just a big shout out and a thank you to our authorized trainer team, because they do a flipping brilliant job. I'm really, really grateful to those guys. So it's 10:02. How are we doing for time? Okay. What would you say is, if just pop your hands down for a second, guys. What would you say is some of the biggest learning things that you've learned from the group? Okay, now you can put your hand up. Basha, just like little short ones, right?
No, ninja moves.
Ninja moves, yes. Actually, Diane, I think it was you were saying about going in the bushes, weren't you?
Yeah, yeah, ninja
learning
moves.
to turn around and get out of a dodgy situation.
And what I found, I don't know if my ninja moves are so obvious to other people, or am I living in the area that people, I don't know, are more aware. or maybe because I live here long and my dogs are now older. So Susie is happy with dogs and people. It's Shaka who's reactive to dogs and people, and she's 9. But I found that when you are very obvious that you are ninjing away, people are reading it, and I found that it is actually respected in my circumstance more than it is not, which is great. Which is great. And it was recently, I've had a lady, I didn't see her. There was a lady pop out because I think I was picking up the poo. She came with a lab. And I was like, oh God, I need to ninja away. And she went, don't worry, I'll walk around. And she walked around to the other side of the road behind the car. And I thought like, oh, wow, that's so nice. She actually ninja'd from me, even though that was me who needed it. So, yeah, but I think that, yeah, if you
I was going to say, it's also, we've now got our ninja hoodies.
Yes, yeah.
On the back, it says in big letters, stay away, dog in training. And that's something we haven't touched on actually either, was the yellow dog stuff. Let's carry on. So nice short ones. Chloe.
Having a reactive dog is okay, and you don't need to fix them. You just need to make them safe and happy. Safe and happy.
Very great. Lovely. I saw Claire's hand up a second ago. I can't see her now. She's gone. Emma with Buster.
Self-care. I really like the focus on self-care, because I just completely forgotten all about it actually. So focused on trying to help the dog and completely forgotten that actually I need to look after myself, because it's really stressful sometimes.
It's really stressful a lot of the times, can't it? Yeah. Karen with Archie.
The 2 things that we've learned, and I say we with Arch, walk and belt, and also the use, and with a 8.5 stone plus male Rottie, we couldn't survive walks without it. And also secure fields. I did not know you could hire a secure field before I joined Reactive Dogs. And now here he is. He can hear me talking about him. He's just come in. So we can hire a place where he can just run free and be off lead, because and he has fun.
Super. Liz, did I see your hand up then a moment, darling?
Yeah, the thing I found the best about it is actually being able to do care properly, because you try and do it and you're making mistakes and it's not working, but you can go back and you can read and you can listen to others so that you're actually doing it properly. That's the thing that I found.
That's really good. I mean, the care, so for people who don't know that, care stands for counter conditioning, and positive reinforcement is essential. But essentially what it means is we program our dogs with good feelings, whilst the scary things or the trigger things are in the vicinity. And like you said, Liz, it's like it's about learning it and then tweaking it and then getting better at it and getting better at it and getting better at it. Yeah, good. Claire, I know, did you have your hand up as well, or something to?
Sorry about that. I just had to shoot it out for 5 minutes. Right, remind me.
So short and sweet, the kind of things you found that you've learned from the group.
Accepting the dog that we've got.
Ding 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 ding! We have a winner.
Was a massive game changer for me. I spent so long wishing that Benji would do this, not do that, wanting to be like this, until actually one of the trainers in the actual group actually said, accept the dog that's in front of you. And that just stuck in with me. And even though we still have bad days, very bad days, low days, it's an awful lot better, because I've got that in the back of my mind, that the dog that we've got is the dog that we've got. And that's not going to change. And it helps to put a positive spin on everything that we do, is because we've accepted how he is. We've accepted he's frightened of people, frightened of dogs, frightened of scooters, frightened of children, cars, but whatever. But because you accept it, you can actually move forward with it. If that's
Yeah, it makes your world very, very small, doesn't it? With you have all of that. So how just Joe raise her hands, like the acceptance thing of accepting the dog that is right in front of you being a big thing and making a difference. Yeah, I think so. It's you know, we really want to help people in the group to find a way to love life with their dog exactly as they are right now, because then anything else you get in the future is a bonus. You know, anything from tomorrow onwards is a bonus if you can learn to love and accept and find a way to love life with your dog exactly as they are now.
I think one thing that my dog has taught me is to be a better owner. It was a huge learning curve to end up with a reactive Rottie, but I wouldn't change him for the world, because I've learned so much with having him, and yeah, he's my world, to be honest.
Yeah. Thank you, Karen. And I think, you know, there's something else as well, is we're just coming up towards 8 o'clock, but there are a couple of things just to finally touch upon, and that is the point at which people join the group. I find quite interesting. So who here, you know, actually you might not want to share, but who here was at the point of, you know what, I am done. I don't know where to go from here. I'm just like, absolutely, I am done. Yeah. That's about right percentage wise. It's about 27% of the group when they join are at the I am done situation. And I also know there are others here on the call who joined the group when it was still a case of, well, there's something bothering me a bit about that, and I need to go and find out what's going on. Or, do you know what? This has been going on for a bit of a while now. Maybe I need to go and find out and get some additional support somehow. What would you guys say to someone who is noticing their dog is doing a behavior that is a bit different and a bit worrying? What would you guys say to them?
Get to the bottom of it, basically.
Great. And how are they going to do that?
I've told people about the group, enjoying it.
Yeah, me too.
I have.
And would you
talk
say
about reactive? Sorry.
Yeah, would you say to people to give it a while or act sooner rather than later? Sooner rather than later. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think, you know, that's the interesting thing, because I think people feel that when it's only occasionally, or maybe they've only got a little dog and it's only doing that, you know, when you've got a big dog, you pay attention, but when it's a little dog, people don't always pay attention. Although Claire, I know your dog's little, but he can give us some good welly, can't he? But it is that, you know what, guys, if you think there's a behavior that it's giving you a bit of concern, and I'm talking now to other people who have joined us tonight, and I really apologize, I can't actually manage 2 conversations at once. If you see something that is concerning you, you know, ask for help sooner rather than later. And if it's something that we can help with, absolutely, we will be there for you. And in fact, when people join the group, there's a kind of almost like a little quiz now that people go through to find out if it is reactivity or not so much reactivity. And if it's not, then we'll give you a resource to help with that as well. So it's a win-win, whatever happens. So one word, if you had to describe RDUK for yourself, like what one word would describe RDUK? Should we just do a little round robin? Let's start at the bottom with Claire.
Fantastic.
Liz.
A godsend.
Di.
Supportive.
Ros, if you're there. Oh, sorry, Ros, that's me. Karen with Archie.
A lifeline.
Basha.
Safe place.
Safe place, lovely. Tamsin.
Out of this world.
Thank you. Chloe.
Compassionate.
Thank you. Bryony.
And
Sorry, darling, say again.
Kind.
Kind. Emma?
Community.
Lovely. Karen?
2 words, always there.
Oh, that's lovely. Diana?
Safe zone.
And Shirley?
Empathy.
Empathy. That's gorgeous.
Can I just add non-judgmental?
Yes, you can.
Yeah.
Yes, you can, my love. And on that note, I am going to quit whilst I'm ahead. And I just want to say a massive thank you to all of you on this call for your contributions and for your contributions to the group. And I'm just, yeah, I know I said it before, but I'm always blown away by your dedication and your compassion and your courage and your unconditional love for your dogs. You guys are amazing. You rock. Right, that's us, 8 o'clock, over and out. And thank you for everyone who joined us. And all the links are up above for owners or pros and anyone with a dog, full stop. Okay, bye. Thank you so much.
Bye. Skål då.